Hey guys, this is Leader635 on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and what I have here to show is the Gemmy spinning snowflake snowman. Now you might have noticed by the way I say it, I'm not really keen on using the word animated, and it's a complete cliche to use that word in my case, so I just don't like it. But anyways, if it turns out somebody modifies the title to say animated, I'm not going to be pissed at all. I mean, it's how the thing go, but you're not going to force me to say that in a video. However, this is the Gemmy Snowflake Spinning Snowman from, I believe, 2004 or 5. You're going to be like, why do you think it's 2004, 2005? Well, everyone right now knows the 3 weird colors of Snowflake Spinning Snowman and how the generations go, which the first generation has 2 songs, which was 2002, 2002. Then there's the 2003 that is a press and hold with the big box. Then that is pretty much where I start messing, because I don't know if in 2003 they made the one with the vest that's like dark blue or dark red and has the snowflake on it. But those do have press and hold demos. Now this one doesn't, and this is actually probably the last original Snow Miser they produced. Meaning that these and the Peppermint Twist ones were, well, the Peppermint, the the red, the green, and the blue one that everybody's like crying about right now, like the green one, the red one, yeah, those. Because of the fact it has the exact same demo, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain a few things which are gonna be a little extensive because there's a few things I don't have, like I don't know it all that much. But let me just move this thing a little bit right there. So basically, this, I believe it's the last one because of the fact the demo it has is the one for a half box. And in the older ones, as far as I've noticed and as far as some people have informed me, they do have a dial, as a little potentiometer on the bottom of the base, which usually connects either to the board or in between the board and the motor to regulate the speed of the hips. Either the hips or the snowflakes. I don't remember which was the actual one. It more likely must have been the hips. This one doesn't. This one, all the motors go the fastest they can, and that's pretty much when they take out the components that can regulate those things, and they just give it slower motors, weaker things. It's all like that. So, I received this guy as a present from Daniel Aguilar last year, which again I'm really thankful for that because I'll pass right now and explain. I used to have this guy when I was little, and I don't think it was this one. I think it was a press and hold, but it was exactly the same. The pitch was the same. I'll tell this is practically a clone of it. The way it looks it just reminds me of that one. So it's pretty much a replacement for the one that I used to have, even though the other one will always live in my heart. Of course, the past one that I had, one Christmas, he stopped moving the hat arm, which was like the first thing that stopped on it. In fact, that's the issue that this one had. And I think I pulled it from like this area, the crotch area, and it fell and it snapped from the base. So later on, it magically disappeared, which I'm sure it must have been thrown away. Just what nobody wants their toys to finish like, unless you're a freaking bastard and you want the things to, end destroyed. So, this one, as I've said, it's the last, I think, that they made of this huge type with this type of design and everything that came along with this peppermint ones. Because in fact, the green Snow Miser, and I'm not super sure about the other two, but I think they do. They do have the exact same try me mode, which I'm going to pass the show right now. As you guys can see right here on the base, underneath the base, there's the logotype of the owner, of the previous owner. And there's a little number that I don't know who the hell wrote it, but yeah. There's a few holes right here. My personal guess is these are for the potentiometers that this thing's supposed to have. Mainly this one, I think. I'm not super sure, but yeah, you get how it goes. I mean, there's screw holders around here. That's why these things exist. There's, I believe, 2 for the board. Then there's a couple of others for, oh yeah, the speaker right here on the side. Sometime, I'll say this, sometime in the near future, I'll probably do a video on how I wired up the bass, because I have a bunch of recommendations for these things. By example, the fact that these wires are a bitch, but not these, okay? Don't get me wrong. These and these wires, for anybody that owns one, you can tell they're different. And these are wires that are composed by more than one filament. Now, the thing about these is that these are really shitty, and if you pull them way too much, they're gonna break off. And even if you try to solder them twice, they're gonna burn. So my personal mod on that is to solder them once, make a prolongation from the bottom of the base to the board so I can unsolder and resolder how many times I want without fucking the wire up. And of course, the fact that if you want to make your Snowflake spinner last, you better put heat shrink tubing from in the solder point where you solder it to the first Snowflake. I will pass and admit that I was supposed to have clear heat shrink tubing, but you know, as I want to have everything ready for Christmas, the time was literally on my ass. And I know that I did have, at one point, I did have the clear heat shrink. And in fact, it's a lot more flexible than a regular black, which I'll pass to show actually, right here. But it's what I had in the time, and as soon as I get some transparent one, I'll actually try to take it off, which it's gonna be a nightmare because I hate the thing, the wire only, not the thing, but the wire. I fucking hate it because of the fact it pulled off so many times. Like one time it started flickering, it came off. Right now it works fine. It's been working fine ever since 1 or 2 months ago, which is neat. I mean, it might keep on working like that for a while. Oh, sorry, that was the play mode. Here's of course here's the button, the switch, demo and on. We want the demo, which is the special thing. I'll go ahead and do a honorable mention. Thanks for Jaden Wright for mentioning that this was a rarer version that came with a half box. And Daniel actually told me that this guy was sold at where the hell was it? I think it was, hold on, I'll actually figure it out. I'll make a little pause and remember what store he said. Okay, never mind. I remembered it. I think it was Canadian Tire, the place where he told me he saw them when he was like, you know, younger, and these things were still being sold. And yeah, a little bit, I'll go ahead and do something that not a lot of people do. The hardware and the software of this guy. Of course, software is just programming and stuff, but hardware, you guys know it. The board, the 3 LEDs, non-flexible wire that has a clear insulation, flexible wire with clear insulation, a motor with a, you know, this is the belt controlled one, the last one they made. That motor on the side, on the arm, I think that was, oh, you got me there. I know that the one from the arm and the one for the body are big cylinder size motors. However, that one is a medium size cylinder. I'm gonna actually bring a couple to show because I do have samples of those. Alrighty then. This is the type of motor that he has in the Snowflake arm, which is a medium size cylinder motor. Ignore the fact it doesn't have the entire rotor inside because of the fact I took it off. This is like a dummy motor, which I tend to test the inner, like the axis, because they come with a coil that sometimes it's dead and everything, and if you replace that, it works again. However, keep an eye out for the brushes, because the brushes are another big pain in the ass, but I'll show that maybe in a future video. And of course, these are mostly featured in some Gemmy items that have a moving mouth with string, for example the Pop Culture series. There's also vintage toys. Robot-wise, it's Saturn by Camco and a few others. Like, mainly, yes, this is a good example, Turbo Fighters. Turbo, Super Fighters, all of those robots that turn from side to side and walk, they have this motor. Now, of course, as I've said before, this is the, I call it the vintage toy motor because it's mainly in vintage toys. But here is the bigger one, okay? This, I'm sorry, this is moving. The bigger one is the one that the Snowman uses for the hips and the hat arm. which, and again, it's the most known motor to be used by animatronics. I mean, I'll pass to say this right now. 99% of my chinafake or generic animatronics have this motor, even though some have this. I will have to actually check on a couple of mine, but I'm more likely sure that all of them, or nearly all of them, use the big one. So, other than that, I think I have that part covered, the type of motors they use. Hardware, of course, a gearbox with, I think it's 4 gears for the hips. The hat arm, by the way, I'm going to pass to say this. The hips use a 10-tooth gear. The arm uses a 10-tooth gear for the little shaft for the pulley. And for the shaft of the pulley on that one, it uses an 8-tooth gear. However, in this case, it has a 9-tooth gear because of the fact I did not have 8-tooth gears at that time. But it works absolutely fine. There's nothing different with it. I'm going to pass to say this as well, now that I just remembered. This has the big speaker, which you can find in most pop culture series characters and some other, the original Billy Bass, by example, not the smaller speaker. This is a pretty big speaker, because there's also sizes of that. There's the typical coin speaker that, again, sorry about the robot references, but WowWee robots use a coin speaker that I believe it's the same size as the leg-kicking monkeys, which, yeah, I don't really know, because I did at one point. A little funny thing, actually, you guys see it right up there, the Robo Sapien, once the speaker blew out and I was trying to find something. I took apart the leg-kicking monkey that I have to see if the speaker was the same, and I don't think it was the same. I think it was slightly smaller, but I could be wrong. Now, this is the big speaker. Most of the older Gemmy items use a big speaker. Of course, the oldest ones, for example, the witches, the motionette type ones, some use a small speaker. For example, the Snoring Santa, which, if I'm not wrong, I could be wrong, okay, so don't get this as granted. The gearbox is exactly the same as the one for the arm of this guy. For, like, the belly mechanism, which it moves up and down and everything. But yeah, I guess I'm going off the topic. Again, this uses a big speaker as well, and as I've said before, no potentiometers, just like the older ones. So I'll go ahead and show the try me mode, and at the same time, this one's a little bitchy sometimes with the arm, especially. But in this case, he's fine because I did test it out before. And of course, now, this is pretty much what I do when the motor's locked up. It's not locked up, but it doesn't go all the way to the head, and it just stops right there. So you gotta exercise it for it to start moving faster. Alright, so, now, you guys might notice the cheeks are actually faded. He used to have red cheeks just like any other snowman, but you guys know what happens with these things when they get washed. Those are not thought as permanent things, so they end up coming off. So yeah, I guess right now we're gonna go to the full play mode. I think this is kind of like a, I don't want to brag, but I think it's like a kind of like a perfect snow miser, because the head is perfectly round, even though I'm not sure if this one actually did come, and Daniel actually took it off, but this one did not come with a zip tie for the head. He might have taken it off. In all honesty, I don't know, but I think that if somebody that has a snow miser and the head is like slightly deformed, but it's the one that has the inner helmet, I think if you just put the zip tie and you just put it tight, it's gonna pretty much look like that. The skin's gonna be tight and he's gonna look fine. The pitch, I believe, is perfect. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it is perfect because of the fact I did actually put it in sync with the original Snow Miser song, and it barely got off sync. So, and of course the fact, mechanical wise, the hat arm might be actually too quick, but other than that, I have no issues with it. I personally love it. So I guess that, as Bailey says, and I hope I can use this phrase without getting copyrighted, even though it's the same channel, without further ado, we will demonstrate it for you. Hope you guys enjoy. Now here's a slight recommendation. It's not something like super important, but I guess that at the time, like, you know, for example, when you want to keep it away or something, I think it's a very neat thing to do, and it's gonna probably not risk the snowflakes. But if you grab a twist tie and you grab the snowflakes and you just wrap them around this area, especially the white part of the arm with the last snowflakes wire. If you turn it on and, like, I don't know, you wanted to have it 24/7 turned on. Well, not 24/7, but, you know, kind of like Jordan, where he's got them all. Again, I'm sorry, I don't want to mention Jordan like a bad thing, because he's not, but, like, I know you have it as a display piece all year long, and you test it all year long, you know, like a classic collector. What a classic collector does, he just tests it and everything. For not risking the snowflakes to cut off in a very, you know, premature time, that pretty much doesn't let the thing, because of course, yeah, this constantly spins. And this, of course, gets pulled all the time and wiggled and everything. Now, if you put it like this, it's not going to do that, and it's still going to light up the same. It's not going to do the wee thing, but the thing about it is that if yours wiggles too much when he does the spinning action, what spinning action? What the hell did I just say? The snowflake spinning action, with this it's barely going to do anything. I'm going to actually pause the video, grab the twist tie that I have, it's a green twist tie, and show you what I mean. There. Okay then. So what I mean is, you grab the Snow Miser's arm, like this. Of course, yeah, you grab the snowflake, and you put a twist tie around the arm, and you just make a tiny, it's gotta be tiny, because it's like something's gonna be there forever, but a tiny bend right there, like a little tiny thing. Now, you pretty much just put it the way you want and everything, and I'll say this, it's even better if you can actually grab it from the snowflake. In this case, I didn't, but you can grab it actually from the snowflake. But pretty much what happens there is that you guys saw how wiggly that thing was. Check it out right now. Yeah, you guys saw that. Again, this is a personal thing that I do for the snowflake wires, not to be tensioned all year long. I'm not gonna keep this guy all year long out because of the fact the white fabric gets really easily dirty. So I'm gonna probably bag it up and put it on my closet with the other animatronics until the Christmas time arrives, or until I have something special to dig it out for. And yeah, I guess that's practically it. So this has been my first. Oh, by the way, a little stupid. You guys might know, you guys might not know, because again, everyone knows these guys. It uses 4 AA batteries, which in fact are rechargeables now for me, and it uses a DC 6-volt adapter. Nothing super. Let's see. Nothing super fancy or anything. The tag, of course. Oh shit! Sorry. The tag, Gemmy Industries Corp, Coppell, Texas. The only thing that kind of pisses me off is that it doesn't say the freaking year it was made on. That would be nice if it would actually say it. And of course, just like any Canadian toy or Canadian thing, it has it in English and in French. Which then again, that's pretty much why you can find French ones in Canada. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all as soon as I make another Gemmy review, which will be soon, okay? I'm busy. I gotta do a lot of things. Actually, this is the last video before I leave home for good. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. So, yeah, I guess that was a nice first review. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if I should make something better, I'll try my best to improve it in the next review. So thank you for watching, and bye.